Can Vladimir Putin become immortal or live to be 100 to 150 years old? The question sounds absurd, but not for everyone. In Beijing, during a military parade walk with Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un, a hot mic captured Putin musing about immortality.
In the past, people rarely lived to be 70. But in our time, at 70, you're still a child. With the development of biotechnology, human organs can be constantly transplanted, and people can become younger and even achieve immortality. There is a prediction that in this century, people have a chance to live to 150 years.
The broadcast soon switched, but it was enough to spark global speculation that Putin sees biotechnology as his path to outliving his era. This wasn't just idle chatter. Putin pays close attention to longevity and likely hopes to outlive the average Russian man of his birth year, who died at 54. He is already over 70 and has drawn in his daughter Maria and close friends to support the effort. For Putin, the issue of life extension has become more than science. It has become a political project tied directly to his grip on power. The issue goes far beyond Putin's personal hopes. For many, the only expectation of democratic change in Russia is the eventual death of its leader. But what if he doesn't die, or at least outlives most of us? Does someone with unlimited resources and immense power have a real chance at immortality? Could a dictator, who already bends politics and society to his will, also hope to bend biology? In June of last year, Russian research institutes received a letter from the Ministry of Health demanding urgent proposals on reducing cell aging, neurotechnologies, immune system correction, and bioprinting. Scientists were told this was a matter of extreme urgency. A source close to the Kremlin explained it was driven by an obsessive idea, multiplied by lobbying. Pointing to Mikhail Kovalchuk, Putin's confidant and head of the Kurchatov Institute, Kovalchuk is known for eccentric claims about genetics and so-called genetic weapons, dismissed by most scientists as myths. He even warned publicly about service humans, supposedly bred by the West. Yet, he is said to have convinced Putin that human life could be radically extended, remarking back in 2007 that while immortality may be elusive, technology could make people more repairable. Maria Vorontsova, Putin's daughter and an endocrinologist, is also involved in state-backed genetics projects. The US Treasury has noted that programs she helps oversee have received billions from the Kremlin. To many observers, Vorontsova represents not only a scientific mind, but also the personal family connection that anchors Putin's obsession in his inner circle. Her work links state-funded genetics directly with the president's personal quest. Sources suggest that Vorontsova and Kovalchuk together form the intellectual backbone of Russia's so-called immortality program. So far, results are thin. Russian proposals include dubious drugs like chondroprotectors and homeopathics, with little credibility in global science. More promising is theoretical work from Gera founder Pyotr Feditchev, who in 2017 published research challenging the so-called biological inevitability of aging. Still, this is groundwork, not a practical path to prolonging life. Meanwhile, Western billionaires fund their own longevity ventures, investing in gene therapy, stem cell treatments, and epigenetic rollback of cells, where the aim is to reset biological age at the cellular level. In the US, Google's Calico and Bezos-backed Altos Labs lead the charge, while in China, massive state programs aim at the same frontier. Russia, despite its ambitions, struggles to keep pace. Putin's fascination centers on bioprinting, 3D printing of living tissues and, one day, organs. Globally, the field has produced cartilage, skin, and even a tiny non-beating heart prototype. Russia's 3D bioprint solutions printed a mouse thyroid that functioned after transplant, and even tested printing in zero gravity aboard the International Space Station. Zero gravity offered an advantage. Without the pull of Earth's gravity, fragile cell structures did not collapse during printing. Although groundbreaking, such experiments remain far from providing working organs for humans. In 2023, Russian specialists performed bioprinting directly on a patient for the first time. Not an organ, but biomaterial that acted like artificial skin to close a wound. The Bordenko military hospital led this experiment, likely on a wounded soldier from the war in Ukraine. Today, about 50 bioprinters operate in Russian labs, though most are imported from abroad. As one insider admits, cell technologies have not received the avalanche-like development expected. Even Russia's most ambitious efforts remain years behind global leaders. Still, Putin may hope that unlimited resources will secure him transplants one after another. Experts doubt it. Former Science for Life Extension President Mikhail Batin says Russia lacks the scientific depth. Even top global labs expect human organ trials only by the 2030s to 40s, with mass use after 2050. At Putin's age, the odds of surviving multiple transplants are slim, given the risks of rejection and lifelong medical complications. Even for younger patients, organ transplants carry enormous risks. To imagine a septuagenarian repeatedly undergoing such procedures stretches science far beyond its limits. History shows the pattern. Soviet leaders chased longevity with blood transfusions, serums, and peptide drugs. Against the backdrop of Lenin's illness, Alexander Bogdanov created the Institute of Blood Transfusion in 1926, transfusing himself 11 times before dying from an infection. Stalin bankrolled Alexander Bogomolets, who promised life to 150 years with a special serum and longevity expeditions, but he died at 65. Brezhnev resorted to peptide injections to rejuvenate himself, though the results were unconvincing. In modern times, gerontologist Vladimir Khavinson, once hailed as Putin's personal advisor, promised 20 extra years of active life. He died at 77. The Soviet legacy of failed experiments casts a shadow over Putin's modern pursuits. From blood transfusions to bioprinting, each generation of leaders has chased the same dream, only to meet the same end. Each time, the promise of scientific breakthroughs collided with the limits of biology. The dream of eternal rulers always ended the same way, in the grave. And yet, Putin's hope to outwit death lingers, like the desire of many who want life to stretch beyond its natural limits. Medicine is improving, lifestyles are healthier, and lifespans are gradually rising. Some Russian commentators suggest Putin sees this as a race against time, where political survival and biological survival are one and the same. If he cannot master biology, he cannot master history. But even with near limitless power, he faces the same biological barriers. The science isn't there, and Russia lags behind. And so, the hot mic in Beijing revealed more than casual talk. It exposed a ruler's deepest fear, an obsession that may shape Russia's future as much as his politics. And a reminder that even the most powerful man cannot escape the one enemy that has defeated every ruler before him: time.